So tell me who you are and where you are.
Okay.
So I'm Kole Ross.
No, and I am Gary Butterfield.
And we are Watch Out for Fireballs, and we're here at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
Yeah, 2015.
So what's been your favorite part of the expo so far? This is the 10 years, so.
Yeah, so my favorite thing has been meeting people. I keep making jokes about it that, the story is like, I met a man and he was nice. It doesn't seem like very much of a story, but it is. It still is really heartening. So we've met a lot of people who listen to the show and a lot of new people. So just interacting with the crowd has been my favorite part.
Yeah, so I'm not from around here. I have to fly in, and this is like a great vacation because I get to hang out, with Gary and with the other guys from the network, Nick and Braden, and then this whole cast of like returning guests and people who, just like come by every year, and we get to watch that grow. So it is just a wonderful sense of community inside that hall.
It's also a really amazing convention just for stuff. If you like to buy things or look at things, there are things.
Yeah.
It is. There are a lot of. I bought some neat stuff and a lot of great art too. So.
Yeah, I'm not so much into buying the used games, but I really love the original art kind of stuff too. Yeah.
So what'd you guys pick up? Any cool treasures this time?
Yeah, very early on this year, I kind of blew my budget. There is a booth selling a MIDI interface NES cart. So essentially, you can plug a card into your NES and control the sound chip with a keyboard, which is the invention that I've wanted my entire life without knowing that I wanted it. And I'm really excited to play with that. It's pretty much the coolest thing I own, and I just got it. And I'm old, I own a lot of things. So it is the coolest thing I have.
Yeah, I can't really carry too much because I'm, flying. I've got a carry-on bag and everything, but I got a cartridge of Mother 3 with a fan translation, so I'm excited to be able to play that. And I have my eye on a very rare survival horror game called Rule of Rose. Haven't gotten it yet, but hopefully I can haggle them down on the price.
Okay, if you had all the money in the world and could get the ultimate one collectible, what would it be?
From here? Specifically?
From anywhere.
From anywhere? Okay, give me a second. You'll edit this.
Okay.
Taylor,
Yep.
I know.
Go ahead.
So if I had all the money in the world, there is this vendor in there that actually sells kind of perler art shadow boxes. This isn't like just a game, but it's like actual like art. They have these massive kind of like scene compositions from like Final Fantasy IV Symphony of the Night, and like they're ridiculously expensive. But I would love to have the one of Final Fantasy IV with all the four fiends and Zeromus and like the character sprites. That's just my favorite Final Fantasy game. So that would be awesome to have. And
this is if I had all the money in the world, and I don't necessarily. If you put a gun to my head, I might reconsider this, so please put down the gun. The one thing I just kind of fell in love with, I've always wanted an arcade cabinet, and there are several of them here that I would really, really enjoy. Like, I'd love to have a very old, attractive Mappy cabinet. I love Mappy. And one thing, and I keep talking about it, which is ridiculous, but I fell in love with this two-player, they have this Joust pinball game that is two-player competitive pinball, which, like, I don't get pinball, but I get this, and this seems like the most, like, having that in my apartment, and just like, hey, do you want to play some Joust pinball? And it seems like a blast. It'd make my entire apartment sound incredible. So that might be it. But again, put down the gun, because if it might be like world peace or something if forced.
Nice. So I've noticed a lot of kids around this thing, and I have a bunch of like teen followers who watch our channel. So for someone who's like a teenager or like 13 years old getting into retro games like this, what like 3 games would you recommend that somebody starts with if you're a teenager now?
If you're a young person and you want to get into old video games, I would recommend first-party Nintendo stuff on the Nintendo, because the first-party stuff, specifically the Mario games, are made to be very forgiving. They're very bright and beautiful, and they're also very good. Like, they're kid-friendly games that are actually great as well.
Yeah.
And then Nintendo kind of carries that through line. So when you have different genres, right? So if a kid wants to get into RPGs, like Paper Mario is amazing and it's really kid-friendly, but it's actually a good game. They don't sacrifice quality for accessibility. Those things get confused a lot of the time, and they don't do that.
Yeah, I would echo that and say specifically like Super Nintendo era stuff, because not to underestimate young kids, but like some 8-bit games are a little bit probably not too terribly friendly to get into, but like something like Super Mario World or Super Metroid, or even like if they are interested in RPGs or fantasy kind of stuff, any of the SNES Final Fantasies, like that would be kind of the three that I would say. That is the perfect kind of like intersection of retro simplicity, that kind of appeal, and kind of ease of use and consideration. And they're still beautiful.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So tell us where we can find you. Where should people find you?
Yeah, if you're interested in our network of podcasts, which includes Watch Out for Fireballs, our retro video games podcast, you can find us at www.duckfeed.tv. And we have a whole host of podcasts we've been at this for 5 years. We have more than 100 games we've done, or 100 episodes. We've done a lot of games.
Yeah.
So you'll find something that you like. Start with that. And it's me specifically. If you want to, you can find me on Twitter at Gary Buh, GaryBuh.
Yes, if you want to find me on Twitter, it's at Kole Ross. That is KoleRoss. And then the network is on Twitter as well at DuckFeedTV.
Yeah. And we're all over Facebook and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And we're pretty Googleable.
Yeah.
There aren't a lot of things called duckfeed.tv.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Man,
Yeah.